Good morning, Dingooos. I hope everybody's having a fantastic morning today. First off, if you enjoy this content, make sure you like and subscribe. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and officially become a dingo, because we almost at 1,000 strong, and that's amazing, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So let's just jump right into it. So we are going to be talking about Ethereum Breakout and why. I will throw a little curveball in there today, because this curveball is history, and I love history. And today we are going to have a little brief discussion about history and why we should be grateful for where we are in the present moment, okay? Because it's not as bad as some people think, or anything else. But anyways, let's get started here. Let's talk about Bitcoin, because obviously there's only a certain scenario where Ethereum has a potential against ETH Bitcoin, right? So the ETH Bitcoin pair only does well when Bitcoin consolidates in a bullish formation in an uptrend. So we are in an uptrend, we are consolidating, and it's looking like a bullish formation, guys, as long as we don't dip down here and break down. As long as we stay strong and continue to consolidate, this is exactly what you look for when ETH breaks out. Exactly what you look for. And now if we go to ETH, the short-term all-time high was 1380. Long-term all-time high is around 1400. And if we break 1400, it's off to the races. And if we go back, so the question is, how high would we go? So if we look back to Bitcoin, and when it broke 20,000, it did 100% gain. 100% gain in a month, approximately a month, right? And I think Ethereum could do the exact same thing, guys. I think Ethereum could do the exact same thing. So what would that bring it to? About 2,500 to 2,800 in the next month and a half, right? So that is very impressive gains, and I think that's very realistic. And that would be very happy, very euphoric, right? And that brings you happiness, but also when you get to 2,800, if it goes to 2,800, you will find that really you're no happier than you were right now, right? So let's bring stuff into perspective right now with this really gruesome, scary story, very dark story, right? And we are going to be talking about the Battle of Bataan in the Philippines quickly. It was in 1942. It was against the Japanese. It was Japanese, U.S., and the Philippine army. The U.S. and the Philippines were on the same side fighting the invading Japanese. This battle was 3 months long. Took place 78 years ago today. It was a 3-month-long battle, 1 month after Pearl Harbor. And so let's just imagine for a second, using your imagination. So it's absolute darkness in the jungle. You and your buddy are in a foxhole. Closest friends are 20 to 30 meters away in both directions, to the left and to the right of you. So you're essentially alone. One would sleep, the other would be on guard. The Japanese were known to sneak into your foxhole at night and kill your buddy on guard while you were still asleep, leaving you alive to wake up to your buddy mutilated. Snipers would wait in days in trees. They would never shoot the first man, but instead waited until the last man and then shoot. The reason why I bring this up is not just to show how, if you were born 90 years ago, you could be in the Philippines right now fighting this gruesome battle, right? And it's crazy that right now we're sitting down, I'm sitting at this microphone and just talking into a screen. I'm very grateful to be doing this. And one thing I do want to bring up on this Monday morning, because this is kind of my way of saying happy Monday morning. This is kind of motivation, kind of gets me ready for the day and say, hey, whatever I'm going through in life is not that bad, right? Put things in perspective. Even though it's dark, life is dark. And things can get a lot darker if the times change, right? So uncanny willingness to die, the Japanese, uncanny willingness to die for a belief, whether that's admirable or not, it's your opinion. And if there's anything that you would have such an uncanny willingness to die for, something to brainstorm about, maybe that's what you should be grateful for. But that's my happy Monday morning, and that is the dark way to be grateful for stuff. So that's the story, guys. Let's move on to altcoins. That was a left curve. I hope you stayed with me. I hope that motivates you, made you a little more grateful for today, because I am certainly grateful today and grateful to be talking to each and every one of you in the comments, hopefully. So let's talk about altcoins, because when Ethereum does well, altcoins also do well. And if you remember the cycle, it goes Bitcoin, moons, Ethereum, moons, altcoins, moons. People FOMO into altcoin, get wrecked, and then that money flows back into Bitcoin, and then the cycle repeats until there's no more money entering the market. And that's what happens all the time, guys. And what part of the cycle are we on? We're on Ethereum moon part / altcoin part. It's kind of both happening right now. So, but one thing I also want to note is shit tokens are getting pushed out of the top 10, guys. XRP, Polkadot flipped XRP, so that's getting pushed down. Chainlink flipped Bitcoin Cash. Good stuff. That's exactly what I want to see. Get those trash tokens out of the top 10, guys. All right, and get good tokens up with actual utility and revolutionary utility, right? So let's jump into ETH massive weekly inside bar pin bar. I'm sure it's nothing. So this is this is a weekly pin bar, guys. I mean, look at that support, that bullish buying. Absolutely insane. Just want to point that out. Ethereum all-time high tomorrow, or I will delete this tweet. This was January 17th. So we'll see if we get an all-time high tomorrow. The flippening, if you don't know what the flippening is basically Ethereum's market cap bigger than Bitcoin's market cap. And he says it's inevitable. The only question is when. And let's go to the flippening website. And basically it tracks statistics and what we have flipped Bitcoin on. Not market cap. We are only 20% of the market cap, but that's not a bad thing. That's actually an opportunity if you look at it from a certain lens, right? So the transaction count, we have more transactions. This is shows the relation of total on-chain transactions that happen on the network, right? So that more transactions on the network than Bitcoin. 76% of the trading volume, more nodes than Bitcoin. Active addresses only 50%. Transaction volume, which is the total amount of USD that gets sent over the network, is 67% of that. Total of Bitcoin, total transactions fees. So our Ethereum's network produces more transactions fee than Bitcoin, guys. That's awesome. And this is also showing another opportunity. Is only 18% Google search interest, guys. So Bitcoin gets a lot more Google interest than Ethereum. That's an opportunity. That's not a bad thing. And now let's go to Ethereum staking, because this is coming up on exchanges. And once again, I've said this many times, this is extremely bullish. I don't even want to get into this because I talked about it so many times. Now let's go to Chainlink God. Chainlink God says, Layer 2 is the future of DeFi. DeFi is the future of finance, and therefore Layer 2 is the future of finance. I do 100% agree with him. And Synthetics launches Ethereum Level 2 Optimism solution. So imagine Ethereum if transactions cost cents, not $30. Imagine the adoption of institutions, of just individual people holding their Ethereum wallet utilizing DeFi. The only thing holding Ethereum back right now is gas fees. Layer 2 solutions are coming, as well as ETH 2.0, guys. Absolutely extremely bullish. Now let's talk about Yearn V2, because Yearn V2, they're trying to mint more tokens to have a bigger treasury so they can increase development budget for their project. And I think it's a win-win, but the community says they don't want to mint new tokens because the supply goes up, right? And therefore the value of each token goes down. So Aave minted 23%. Now they have one of the biggest treasuries to conquer the world. I do agree. So if you're in finance, I would reconsider saying, hey, we might want to print more tokens, but you get to vote on that as a token holder. And possibly it's a win-win, because then the developers, there's more developers to work on Yearn, and therefore the value of the product should go up. Therefore, the token price should go up, and everybody should win because you're holding the tokens, right? And now let's talk about how they're going to do it. 5% YFI dilution paid to devs. If YFI reaches $5 billion market cap, another 5% of it reaches $20 billion market cap. I mean, I don't think that's what's happening, but maybe that should be a model of how they should get paid as devs. That's a good idea. I like that idea. Now let's talk about IMF, because this is the International Monetary Fund, and they did an interesting poll. They said, are central bank digital currencies really money? 66% said no. And why is that? Because people are starting to understand that central state-backed currencies are not very reliable, and people don't like that stuff. They like algorithmic-based protocols, in my opinion, because this was the next thing. Are digital currencies real money? 80% said yes. 80%, guys. And this is not centrally backed currencies, right? So there you go. There's the answer for you. And that is all I have for you today. If you liked or disliked my dark, gruesome, motivational story time, leave a comment, because I don't know. I threw that out there. It was it was a curveball, right? And maybe it hit, maybe it didn't. If you didn't like it, comment below and we'll talk about it. But that's all. If you enjoyed this whatsoever, please leave a like and subscribe, because we're almost at 1,000, and become part of the Dingooos community. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you want to chit chat, there's a Discord and Telegram link too. That is all for today, and peace out. Dingle dingle.